within our life that give us not the living of the life, but I mean the teachings of the faith, the teachings of the church, which help us. One of the beautiful ones, which even the Code of Canon Law has beautiful things on the meaning of our life in Christ and the family, but in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, in section 1601, there's this beautiful statement which speaks of the marriage covenant by which a man and a woman establish between themselves a partnership for the whole of life is by its nature ordered towards the good of the spouses and the procreation and education of offspring. And this covenant between baptized persons has been raised by Christ himself to the dignity of the sacrament. I think that passage summarizes the teachings of our faith on the reality of the family. And certainly it summarized the teachings of the Pope John Paul and the whole theology of the body in the great apostolic exhortation Familiaris Consortio, which guides us to this day, which gives us wisdom in the midst of struggle and light in the midst of darkness. So I think that pretty well says the marriage covenant. It is, as we look in the Old Testament, the love of God and his people is what is used as the comparison of the love within a family of husband and wife and children. It's a man and a woman. This, of course, is challenged these days, but this is just so sensible. It's so obvious. A man and a woman establish between themselves a partnership for the whole of life. And where this is difficult and people have struggles, this is where we need to reach out and help and give this kind of life-giving alternative to the various things which lead people astray, to help people for the, I guess it's true. I think it's true of the priesthood as it is, I think, for marriage, that we live one day at a time. We commit that each day we live the sacrament of the present moment. The past we confide to God's mercy. The future we confide to God's providence. But we just live this present moment day by day, trying to be faithful to what God asks of us. Not in the complexity of many rules and things, but just, here I am, Lord, I come to do your will. That sense of the partnership of the whole of life, renewed every day, is so important. And it's so interesting hearing about this movement, the insistence on this daily and regular renewal, this regular contact, back and forth, this renewal constantly. This is true also, I think, that when people facing struggles in life, one of the great realities of the movement of Alcoholics Anonymous, helping people deal with the struggle with alcohol, with any addiction really, modeled on that, is to take one day at a time. And I think one of the founders of Alcoholics Anonymous was very influenced by teaching of the Catholic Church about the sacrament of the present moment. It's usable in many ways, it's fruitful in many ways. And it's true in that way of helping people deal with terrible struggles, but it also, I think, is helpful to us, whatever our vocation may be. That's why I always love having these celebrations, which we do regularly, of anniversaries of people. We have the renewal of the wedding vows and things like that. And it's just great, and have everyone. I remember I was just last year before going to the Synod of the Family, which was a very interesting experience, believe me. But anyway, it was great just before going there. I'll say no more. That we had a wonderful gathering at one of our churches, and there were people married for 1 year, 50 years, 60 years. And it was just to celebrate this, to thank God for this, ask for God's blessing. So it's a partnership for the whole of life. It is by its nature ordered towards the good of the spouses. This is true. This is the dimension of the love, this ability to live an interdependence, love for one another, and find ourselves in absolute subsidiarity. It is that when something basically in every area, but certainly it applies to education, we should do what we can do at the most ground level, unless you can't, in which case you bump it up to a higher level. And if you can't do that, you bump it up to a still higher level. So, we can't buy tanks and naval ships and stuff, so that we have to bump up to the federal level. But the most important thing is, if possible, the default setting is the ground level. That's where it should be, unless there's a good reason against it. And so the fundamental responsibility for the education of children in all areas, especially their spiritual life, but everything, is really with the parents. At the baptismal ceremony, when you're given the candle, you say, you are the first teachers of your children, be therefore the best of teachers. And that's rooting them through the example that you give, and through the way in which you raise the children and pray for them and help them and care for them. And you think of the profound, people, when they ask people, well, who's the greatest influence in your life? Even people who have, you would wonder, well, they say it's our parents. You know, the parents have a tremendous influence, profound influence on people, even if they may feel they don't. One of the saddest things that I know that as a priest I often hear when hearing confessions or when talking with people, that they're very worried because especially if the children have drifted away from the practice of the faith. And they wonder, what have I done wrong? You know, because what has happened? And this goes back to even, St. Monica, when her son Augustine was drifting away. And the Bishop Ambrose was very much saying to her, that she was crying about her son had drifted. But she prayed for him, she cared for him, said the son of those tears will never perish. And so that sense of caring, raising the children is so fundamentally important. There are things we need to use schools for, and I mean, that's fine, and but the fundamental responsibility is out of the parents. And when we have especially issues such as the reality of sexuality and things of that nature, it can be done, there may be a point in having this done. Not, it's ironic, when people have this backwards, they think it's part of a physical education program. Well, hey, I mean, but that misses the point. We need to have this fundamentally as a reality of the spiritual life, the life of the whole person, which there can be assistance within a school setting for that, but then we have to be sure, at least in the Catholic system, we can try to be sure that it is done within the teachings of the Catholic Church. That's not what you get from the government, but we can adapt it. But the fundamental responsibility and the right for that is the parents. And that is something that has to be aware of. Just reflections on the great work that you're doing, and I'm so grateful for this movement and what you're doing. I'd like to learn more about it. And we don't, again, this isn't something you get from the bishop's office. Obviously it has to come from within, but we can perhaps help a bit and make it more known and help priests to be more aware of it and things like that. And I'd like to do that. One of the things we're trying to establish is a family life office in our diocese. We have something like it here and there, but we don't have a unified thing. So we're trying to work on that. Part of our plan in the pastoral plan of the Archdiocese is to do that, and we're working on it. So we'll do what we can. I think also, you're aware of all the different scriptural passages to meditate upon. I think the Genesis, Matthew 19, the great book of Tobit, so many passages of scripture are related to the reality of marriage and the family. I just recommend them for your own meditation. I maybe should do, each year I do a Lectio Divina. This year I'm doing it on basically repentance. But I think maybe it might be good sometime just take those marriage passages and meditate a bit upon the sacred scriptures as they speak to that. So I just thank you for what you're doing, and I don't know if there are any, you know more about this than I do, but if there are any things you'd like to ask.
Thank you, I ask you to sit down because I know that you are tired, the time difference coming from Rome. Just 2 comments from the pastoral view. As a pastor of this parish, the parish where the life is very busy and very active in so many different areas. The biggest challenge for us at the present time is coming and will be the euthanasia, which unfortunately we don't even realize how many even behind the doors people are talking about and some are using. It came to our great shock a couple of days ago, 2 days ago, when one of the ladies, well known in the Polish community in Polonia at Copernicus Lodge, she was diagnosed a few weeks ago, a couple months ago, with a cancer, and she was absolutely mobile and you know, great, and she decided to kill herself. That's the word I'm using, you know, to euthanize. And to our shock, the entire family was standing, the daughters were standing there at her bed when she was euthanized in her room at Copernicus Lodge a few days ago. So this is a shock which will be happening more and more. People know and they decide, and what is shocking is that the children are rather supportive than trying to somehow talk to this mother and say, you know, you may be in pain, you're sick, maybe you don't think straight. No, okay, that's fine, go ahead. So that is, for us, the issue when it comes to the present time, more and more, and unfortunately, we're not ready. We don't know even how to deal with this. And poor pastor at St. Casimir's, he just said the funeral, no homily, nothing, because he just couldn't. He was speechless. So that's what's happening, you know, one of the worst issues we're facing. And the second one, I would like to mention your Lectio Divina about the penance. Now, a great experience, closing the year of mercy in our parish. A week ago on Friday, we had an open confessional for entire day from 10 in the morning till 9 p.m. And it was 7 of us sitting in the confessional. So around noon, I had to send email and phone all the available priests around the Toronto area and begging them to come and help us with the confession. So in the afternoon, in the evening, 14 of us, even in this hall, were sitting and listening to entire day to 9 o'clock in the evening. So the penance, it's something that the people really are longing for the mercy of God. If there is a question, maybe, or something, a comment, so we would take it. Dr. Lalik.
And thank you for mentioning about the grassroots and about where it's happening now with the families. So we're quite, I guess, even scared about what's happening with abortion, with euthanasia, with the gender ideology being taught in schools, now with the Bill 28, which will erase the family officially. And I think all of us, when we introduced the Family of Faith initiative, were very supportive, and we wanted to have some sort of additional, I guess, ways to have support for the family. And I thank you for the website and the emails that I'm getting. I was wondering whether you could give us some concrete examples of the ways that the Archdiocese will be supporting the family at the grassroots level, because I think that's where it all has to occur. And we feel that we want to walk forward into the future with our pastors beside us rather than alone. And I was wondering whether